Welcome into another Watchman report. I'm Dr. Brunswick, and I have a good one for you on some key important topics, and I hope to shed some light on some impactful items that should bring more unity. Awareness, situational awareness is very important. To know who you are and where you're going, not just who you are, but where you're going. Now, that's a big difference. And we're not just talking about after you die. Okay. So welcome into this Watchman Report. We're going live right now on Facebook. Okay, we're going live on YouTube. Our most favorite channel is Rumble right now. They don't like to censor everything as the others do. But welcome in. I think we'll give another minute for a few stragglers still getting in here. So this is a nice setup we got. They've rearranged a few things. I see it's been a couple of weeks since I've gone live. They sure like to upgrade things, and here you go. You have our background here kind of looking funny. But that should work now. All right. So our topic is the bombardments at Kiev and Lviv, okay? Or so to say, Tel Aviv. Now, that's not that funny because actually there's quite a difference between the two people. They did a study, a DNA study. David Duke, of all people, he shined the light on this, was that those two different groups, they tested all the Ashkenazi people, the DNA, the most ever DNA test ever collected was Ashkenazis. And you know what they found? Only like 2% of them have Khazarian genes or Ukrainian area of Khazaria, that part. Only like 2% of Ashkenazi are even related to them. So, but you had Arthur Kessler. People blew it out of proportion. That book, The 13th Tribe, he wanted to just kind of take more credit that, this, and he quoted the exact sources in there. It's an Aryan people. It's a white, and in the old translations of Khazar, it actually meant white Turk. And that was at the time when Paul the Apostle was over there, and the Galileans, most of these were Celtic tribes there, okay, from Bible time. So it's quite something. We do need to know who we are to know where we're going, because we got hundreds of prophecies on this. I did, and I'm doing a series right now on the importance of knowing who true Israel is. People are focusing on just identity and say, oh, be proud. No, that's not what we're about here. There's reasons, okay, and you can go on CelticOrthodoxy.com and listen into our current series, the why. You want to know why it's important to know true Israel. What is it? What are the reasons? Okay, and it's about what you're doing. Okay, we get into this long series, and there'll be a series of great lessons on this. The first one, I hope, whets your appetite. It was just gone live on Sabbath this last week. So anyhow, yeah, of all people, David Duke saying, yeah, bringing out the DNA statistics that show that out of the biggest ever pool, all right, of DNA collections, everybody wants to know if they have Jewish genes, right? Of Ashkenazi, and they only found like 2% are related to Ukrainian or related to actually that Khazar tribe that they've narrowed things down. People want to say, oh, the 13th tribe was so big. But that's not to distract. There are Edomites. It is Esau. The modern Jews are Esau. Okay. This is the 1925 Jewish Encyclopedia. And I'm not here trying to get anti-Semitic. Actually, that's one of the 13 tribes of Israel. And so we're not just, going in that. But we have there's rabbis in Jerusalem who agree with us on the British Israel topic. British Israelism is very important to understand. And we have a book club on that if you want to sign up. And I think it really shows that there's not just one tribe called Judah, but you have 13 different tribes by name, and there'll be 12,000 that are preserved perfectly out of each tribe at the end times when God comes back. Okay. Now, this Watchman report is to get you more onto this topic, but I did want to warm up. It's quite important to know who we are, and as people are still filling in, I want to welcome those who come in. Okay, so the bombardments on Kiev. Okay, there's literally over the last week more than 100 those short-range missiles. Actually, they're short-range ballistic missiles Iran sold to Russia. Okay, they've been bombarding Kiev. All right, this is big. Not just those missiles, but also about twice as many drones are hitting the capital there of Ukraine. So that's one big thing that's happening, and it's not getting much media coverage at all. Now, the other thing that's been quite big lately, of course, is happening in what God has covenanted as the land over there. And yes, true, Israel gets a new land as well. But we also have the old land is still titled to our name. So the Templar would be proud that the Jews are being so stupid as to go attack Lebanon right now. They're all lined up at the border. They don't have enough troops, but they're all daring and going in. They brought their tanks all up on there, everything. And they'll be outnumbered more than 10 to 1. And even America doesn't have enough troops to join together with. And this was covered quite well by Colonel Douglas McGregor, where there's a quite a good analysis you can check out on his page. We also have on Watchman News. You can find his reports, the military analysis. Just go into the news section, and you can find his last 10 items that he has posted to the world. That doesn't mean that he's affiliated with us at all. It just means we're linking people to go check over at their sites. These different people we thought were good on the standpoints, and they've been accurate over the years. And these kind of reliable sources we want other people to be aware of. So yes, it's great. We have our niche. It does root out a lot of the unwanted. We get the true core Christian type. British Israelism seems we have quite a few reliable people in that regard. So we're live here on Watchman News. Welcome in for those who are still joining. We thank God for you. All right. So you have this big bombardment now that just happened with Iran. Over the last 24 hours, at least 100 short-range ballistic missiles have hit Israel. Okay. Now the first quick reports are downplaying it that have been released on the news. Okay. And they're saying we don't have any reason to believe anyone has been killed, this kind of thing, because they don't have the information yet. So that's typically because, hey, they're trying to keep it calm till election day. They want chaos in America, it seems. Keep it quiet, let the slaughter get pretty bad out there in these countries. And when it's time, they want chaos. That's how it looks like anyhow. That's my analysis. We have this issue going on in America where they're censoring. Okay. Now, California has put together a bill. It's been signed, an executive order by the governor, where if you make a meme during an election, I think it's 180 days before or after an election, that basically it's illegal. It's taking the Constitution and saying, if you're a journalist almost, okay, and it's not really journalism that's banned, but it's one step away from journalism. And actually they did call it, so what it says is any kind of deep fake during an election. What is a deep fake? They called the Hunter Biden laptop a deep fake. Remember, they said, oh, there's a hallmark. So Russian propaganda, all that kind of stuff. What happened? They now have finally used it as evidence in different court cases as valid factual material. Okay, they used it to convict Hunter Biden to show he's a drug addict, and they're hoping that's the end of it after that, and to show this one charge that he's been charged with and get him kind of off the hook on all those deals he was making, all the corruption. In most countries, corruption is a big crime, and I think it is in America too, right? To make a deal with a foreign government, or even to use your government position to make deals. This is textbook definition of corruption. So that was called a deep fake. The New York Post did their journalism, and they said, "Look, we got the laptop. Here it is," and they put it on the New York Post. And remember, the government came down on that, and it took years, and the repercussions are immeasurable. Especially, it changed the whole election. We're talking about some thousands of votes, right? A huge difference on the election, and this kind of meddling and so forth. It's just unbelievable. So we have this big issue with the censorship, and it's really an important thing to be able to share true journalism, true analysis. And sometimes you're getting the raw data like you're getting here, but also I'm giving the digested data from the experts. Okay. The experts have all been on Fox News, CNN, and all these different ones saying nothing hit. And then some say, okay, when it hit Israel at this time. But actually, there's video footage showing that the missiles have hit in Tel Aviv itself. Okay. And it has hit hundreds of places. So we're really at a big. People are saying that World War III has been launched. So it's quite a time to pray and to think. Also with this going on in Kiev, it's time to pray for them. I know that winter's coming up, and the people right now are without electricity, without lights. It's a perilous situation. And there are a lot of good people there. Folks are just demonizing the Ukrainians. It's just unbelievable. So I just would rebut anyone if you'd like. I'm not saying anybody's perfect. I'm not saying they don't have corruption like a lot of countries have. And some countries have a much worse corruption. And it's just not so far broadcasted. But actually, later on, the tares, or the weeds, go and eat the good. All of the good harvest gets destroyed by weeds, right? So this is what's happened as that corruption has lately been fueled. So that doesn't mean there's always corruption, but this happens as a planned situation. I mean, you had great political parties in Ukraine. The politics. We're going to try and get someone on the show to also talk about the intermarium, to talk about the 3 Cs initiative, and tell us all what's really going on, what situation is really happening, because it seems with the whole NATO, expanding and going on all these new borders and everything. I mean, it just makes sense that some country wouldn't like another country getting so close on their borders. I mean, how would we like if Mexico was completely covered with a country that we didn't like? They start setting things up and military all right on our border. I mean, normally you wouldn't like that sort of thing. Or let's say Canada and all that. They wouldn't like it very much, I think. But you have these alternatives. For example, Trump even went to go his very first international visit, foreign state visit as president. He went to Poland, and he visited the 3 Cs initiative. Okay, and this is talking about having an alternative to NATO, having a strength that also doesn't rely on the West. But I'm going to get some experts to give us an interview and tell us more about that situation. This is just impromptu information that we have, and there's constantly updates on Watchman.news. You can always see from the experts. You can, tear down into the various experts from Watchman.news. You can see their feeds. And you can also, of course, see just the top 10, the latest 10, the latest 25, I should say, are all listed right there. And hope you'll just use that information, enjoy it, share it with your friends, and we'll get some more content to you, some more live content, as I'm showing you now. So I want to thank those who have joined in live with us on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, our most favorite, okay, and the other platforms as well. All right, now take care, and we'll be looking forward to bringing this report to you. Take care, and may God bless. Bye-bye.